As we begin day 26 of this Murphy Challenge on 7 Steps to Quit, I want to remind you that it was heart trouble and circulation issues, high blood pressure, and quite frankly, cardiovascular disease that prompted me to begin my journey in fitness, particularly with eating a whole food plant-based diet. And we want to talk about changing the culture of this, the kitchen, because that's one thing we covered a little bit earlier, but how do you do that? That's going to be the focus of day 26. Throughout the day, I'm always conscious of the kind of snacks that I have. For example, in my cup here, I'm actually drinking green tea. I'm trying to take a look at this. I'm actually drinking green tea instead of just, coffee or anything like that, because it's part of my strategy in trying to unclog my arteries. That's part of what this entire challenge is about, not only becoming stronger, but becoming healthier as well. This is just one of the things that I utilize for unclogging my arteries. But when you look at the list of items and foods that you can eat to unclog your arteries, maybe you'll understand why I have the quirky diet and interesting things always in my orbit. Changing the culture of your kitchen. Remember, that was one of the things that we talked about previously. And so changing the culture of your kitchen means changing items that are in here. I want to show you a couple of things. First of all, you notice what are the kind of snacks that I have. I've got flax seeds to put on all my salads or any of my drinks. Whenever I get the munchies or whatever, I go ahead and spend the money on some walnut halves. And then when I want something to drink, you see how this is developing? Then in the early morning hours, my apple cider vinegar, my black pepper for my morning drink, but also my what? Turmeric powder in the early morning hours. That's part of changing the culture of what I drink and what I put in my body just on a regular basis. Let's go over here to the refrigerator. You notice, what do we have here? We've got citrus, plenty of fruits with, oranges, very, very healthy kiwis. We have the vegetables with the celery that I always take after I finish working out. But also, my leftovers, which is actually my spaghetti type sauce with mushrooms in it and all that. All plant-based here, ready to warm up. In fact, I'm going to keep that out because I need to eat that later on tonight, actually. But I've got my asparagus. Right here I have my tea. This is my hibiscus tea. And what do I have in my hibiscus tea? Just so you'll see what we're talking about. Well, one thing I put a lot of in my hibiscus tea, cinnamon, cloves, just to name a few. And ginger is another thing, which I'm out of ginger right now. But you can see from the types of spices and stuff that I have, they all have the focus of enhancing my plant-based journey. And even my snacks above board are set up the same way. This is from changing the culture of the kitchen. I realize to you this might seem like a radical change, but what I've noticed is that once you buy these things, they're in your kitchen. It's not so radical. And every time you're in the middle of the night, you want a snack or something, you just grab what's already here that's already good for you. Now, if you buy bad snacks, you grab bad things. If you buy good snacks, you grab good things, That's why that change in the culture of your kitchen is so important. So now let's get more specific on exactly what things can you buy that will begin to change the culture of your kitchen. Because that's the essence of what I utilize to try to stop my arteries from being clogged up from what I eat. Arteries are the blood vessels that transport oxygenated blood from the heart to the rest of the body. As you know, our bodies rely on oxygen for survival, which means that our arteries serve a pretty important purpose. But sometimes our diet and lifestyle choices can cause arteries to become clogged, which increases the likelihood of a heart attack or a stroke. This is a term that is referred to as atherosclerosis and is often goes unnoticed until symptoms such as chest pain start to arise. There are definitely some foods that many of us can eat that can increase the likelihood of blockage. With that said, there are also certain foods that work to cleanse your arteries to keep them open as well. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, medical disclaimer. This content is not intended to be a substitute for any professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your physician with any questions you may have regarding medical condition. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you watch in this video or any other video for that matter. So let's take a look at some of the substances that have shown clinically to be helpful, like flax seeds. Flax seeds are one of the most popular superfoods because they offer several health benefits to the human body. They're great for your arteries because their components work to decrease cholesterol levels, which can lower blood pressure and decrease the likelihood of a blood clot forming. Green tea, very valuable. Studies found that those who drink green tea regularly tend to have a healthier cardiovascular system than those who don't. Green tea is loaded with polyphenols, which researchers believe to offer multiple health benefits, of course, including your heart and blood vessels. One study found that those who drink green tea are 20% less likely to experience heart disease and 22% less likely to pass away from these heart-related conditions. Walnuts have been proven to be very helpful as well. In general, whenever you eat a meal that's high in fat content, it puts your arteries in a state of shock. Over time, this causes them to stiffen and become hardened. One study found that if you eat walnuts along with a meal that is high in fat, it results in effects that are much less severe. You should strive to limit saturated fat consumption. However, you can consider adding walnuts to your diet in order to mitigate some of the negative effects. My favorite of all favorites has been beets for a long time. Listen, beets are known to be high in nitrates. When you eat beets, your body transforms their properties into nitric oxide, which is a molecule that performs a number of important roles in the body. Beets are known to be high in nitrates. When you eat beets, your body transforms the properties into nitric oxide, which is a molecule that performs a number of roles in the body. When blood vessels become inflamed, it can cause a decrease in the amount of nitric oxide that your body produces. Eating foods that are loaded with dietary nitrates like beets or arugula can often offset these negative effects that are caused by inflammation. In fact, research found a link between consuming nitrates and a lower risk of dying from heart problems. This means that they can decrease the buildup of plaque that occurs in the arteries. And when you decrease plaque buildup, it lowers your risk of other heart-related problems as well. Beans. Beans are rich in fiber and known for being heart-healthy foods. Like other foods that we mentioned, beans also work to decrease plaque buildup as well. Several studies have shown that eating beans can decrease the amount of bad cholesterol in the body, not to mention that they have been shown to lower blood pressure levels as well. Citrus fruit. Not only is citrus fruit very tasty, it also contains vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that may prove beneficial for the cardiovascular system as well. One of the primary constituents that I need to mention is flavonoids because they work to decrease inflammation and free radicals in the blood. They help decrease plaque buildup while lowering cholesterol, and this is likely why eating citrus fruit is linked to lower risk of stroke and other heart problems as well. Turmeric is a bright yellow spice that is often found in Indian cuisine. It wasn't until recently that medical experts discovered its positive health benefits. It contains antioxidants that work to prevent fatty deposits from developing in the arteries. It contains anti-inflammatory properties as well that work to prevent the arteries from hardening over time. Cinnamon. It contains antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that are responsible for improving cholesterol and blood pressure levels. A study found that eating 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon per day can decrease your blood sugar, triglycerides, LDL, which is bad cholesterol, levels. Oats. Oats contain antioxidants that inhibit inflammatory proteins, which can lower LDL, bad cholesterol, levels and prevent atherosclerosis. Also, note that oats are loaded with fiber, which offers other health benefits as well. Studies have found that the majority of Americans do not get enough fiber in their diets. Fiber is important because it can help decrease the risk of developing diabetes, stroke, heart disease, and cancer. So do your cardiovascular system a favor and try to eat more oats and fiber in your diet. Man, last few days. You know, I haven't been doing the extra ones because I think I'm just ready to get it over with. Between doing the extra exercise and editing all of this stuff, kind of doubles my time in which I do this. So I'm having a little mental fatigue, but it's worth it. I can actually, when I was at the doctor's office, I weigh more now than I did when I first started this thing. Well, I've gained a lot of muscle and I've lost a lot of fat during this exercise. And during the whole time, my numbers got better. So actually, eating those things that clean out your arteries, it worked in my favor. Now, there are some things you don't need to eat. Now that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now that is what we want to look at next. So now that we've covered some of the foods that can be beneficial for your arteries, let's take a look at some foods that you should avoid if you want to improve the health of your cardiovascular system. As a general rule of thumb, we should always try to avoid foods that are high in cholesterol because it combines with fat, calcium, and other substances in the blood to form plaque, which can cause blockage in the arteries. Also, try to avoid foods that are high in saturated fats or trans fats because they are culprits when it comes to plaque buildup in the arteries as well. Like, you know, the good stuff: hot dogs, hamburgers, donuts, French fries, pizza. I get it. It's unfortunate because many of the tasty foods that we enjoy contain the components that are bad for the cardiovascular system. I get it. But here's a quick little list. Meats that are high with a lot of fat, or really meats, period. High fat cheese, any kind of cheese, not good for you. Unless it's vegan cheese, but even vegan cheese can have its drawbacks. Vegan butter. Egg yolks are no-no. Any kind of egg yolks. Now, there are some substitutes called just egg that are vegan options. They're much better, but stay away from as much processed food as you can. Milk, whole milk and cream. Try to use oat milk is the best that I've researched. Fried foods, ice cream, soda, baked goods, foods with lots of salt, foods that are high in sugar. Any food that is high in cholesterol, saturated fats, or trans fat will likely have a negative effect on your entire cardiovascular system. We're on the last call for alcohol now, folks. Also, I've noticed at this juncture, I do better after I warmed up a little bit, you know? Like the first 3 rounds, it's kind of tough because it's like my body's warming up, but I don't have room for warm-up sets, you know. And I'm killing my time a little bit because I'm talking to you while I'm timing my routine, but that's okay. We did it for speed yesterday, not today. Well, being this is the last round, we can finish this day up too. Now listen, remember, if you couldn't do all of them all these days straight in a row, it's okay. Take a day off, let your body rest. But the most important thing is do 30 full days, even if you can't do them in a row. I got injured, I couldn't. So I'm not going to try to ask you to do something I couldn't quite do because my body forced me to take a break. Listen to your body, please. And most importantly, before you even start, listen to your doctor. Make sure you're okay. Other than the calluses, I would also recommend use gloves because these calluses ain't no joke. When you jump on this treadmill to finish this last part out, that's where that grown man status come in. I don't know, that run afterwards, this right here, this check your oil every time. But use it to loosen yourself up, and then things will be all right. Come on, we're almost done. Don't give up. Let's go forward. We got 4 more days, 4 more days. We're on the backside. We're on the last lap. Don't give up. Don't give up. Even if you feel like it. Even if you feel like it. Now you see how this plays such a key role in success. Please remember that the best way to change the culture of your kitchen is to change it. Buy different stuff, not the same stuff we've been buying, because in the middle of the night when you're ready to eat something and you grab a snack, you want to grab something that's going to clear out your arteries, not clog it up a little bit more. Plus, it never sits well in your stomach overnight anyway.